Hello there, darling. You are a yummy chocolate Kit Kat waiting for me in the fridge. Today, we're going to look at diminishing returns, cycles, theories from some respected, popular people in crypto, friends. Now, what I'm going to do for you is show you them. So this is a back and forth between Pentoshi and EllioTrades. Okay, friends, yes, this is the thing. There are people out there that have different gifts. Sometimes people are able to just explain what's going on. Sometimes, friends, you have to just separate what somebody's doing on one end and go, you know what, I'm going to listen to you when it comes to presenting your thoughts and facts in another place. Okay, so let's continue. So crypto markets and diminishing gains, friends. Before I even go through all this, I want you to remember one thing. Your friend Somi here was saying both of these things, everything you're going to hear, word for word, 2 years ago. Literally 2 years ago. At the bottom of May, when crypto started collapsing, I was saying this literally 2 years ago. So it's wonderful that I am like so far ahead of the game with like seeing where everything's going. And friends, it's okay. It's not like trophy here. Like, where's your money? You know what I mean? We don't care about being right or wrong. You want to make your money. But we're going to get to that part, right? It's going to end with meme coins and altcoins, okay? That's the ultimate conclusion from these. Okay, but they don't have them here, actually. They don't talk about it. That's your friend Somi interjecting. So I'll play some nice pump music just for you to remember we're still going to make it, okay? Look at this. So Pentoshi, I think Pentoshi, friends, has like, I think he's like made 10 or 20 million. Probably EllioTrades is worth 30, 40, 50 million, who knows. Just these people because they've been around in the game. Influential positions, ICOs, everything else. So just telling you guys, that's how everything they see. So this is a very common chart, right? Your friend Somi here has posted this many times, right? Bitcoin adoption rate, innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, and laggards. And where have you seen that before? Oh, if only I had a friend out here, literally, friends, on a Wall Street cheat sheet, I always show you this chart. It's literally the exact same thing. Innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, and laggards. You want to be early. I've told you many times, friends. Roger Ver, Da Vinci, Richard Hart, all those people getting in here, they are most certainly early when it comes to participating in crypto back then. And when we're looking at as well, looking at Bitcoin and crypto all together, you can see all of these. And so it's really important to understand the biggest part, friends, is crossing the chasm. Now, why this is controversial is your friend Somi here mentioned, okay, many times that crossing the chasm for crypto, friends, we might have seen that already, which was the second big cycle of crypto. That was the 2017 cycle. That was when Ethereum was birthed. And you actually see it now on the others index right here. Okay, this is pretty much crossing the chasm. You can see it right here. It was this big, giant bubble part up here. Okay, it was right there. And another way to look at it, friends, is the total crypto market cap. You can actually see this was this is a 100x moonshot. This is from the bottom of 2015 to the top of 2017, friends. The entire industry grew by 367x. And there's all this renaissance of altcoins and everything going on. So you just get to see it right now. Now, interesting with Pentoshi when he says here, why buy? Who and the mix. Okay, so look at this. In the innovators, why buy? Because of the technology, okay? And who buys there? Risk takers. Mix, it's young programmers, okay? That's pretty much who bought in early. Does it make sense? Yeah, it does make sense. Okay, what comes next? Early adopters. So now so this is pretty much early Bitcoin. This is like 2010, pretty much, okay? Now we have early adopters. So now we're moving towards, this might actually be up to 2010, friends. This might be like 2013-ish, 2013, etc. So these people is where you start to also see, so remember, it's blending and stuff over time, okay? You're blending people here. You see people like Kobe, Da Vinci J15, Richard Hart. They're already in at this point. They're like already in, okay? And they're like weaving their way in to participate, okay? So you're starting to see them. You have like Andreas Antonopoulos. And why do these people get in? Why do they buy? To get ahead of the herd. So these people can see this big seismic change in the industry and everything happening in the world, right? Who buys? Visionaries. People who can really see stuff. They're true visionaries, right? As well. Who gets in, right? These are the friends of young programmers, you see? So it's people who like knew someone in the industry or whatever, just like, okay, hearing about this Da Vinci guy or Satoshi and stuff, and everything's really cool. Then we have early majority. So 2017, friends, right up here, 2017. This is early majority. Look at why buy. You stay with the herd because now crypto is like a full-on mania. It's like, we're going to change the world. We got to get in. That's where the memes come in. The Bizonacci memes. Play some nice angel music for Bizonacci. If you are out there, please, I want you to know, Bizonacci, the original creator of the Wojak and all the other memes, friends, and all the videos, and the Bogdanov memes, those were the first introductions for me into crypto. I still keep them close to my heart. It's the reason why I held at the start when I first got in. It's the reason I started to believe in crypto because never in my life could I imagine myself laughing so much at the entertainment and the memes and the culture. And by the way, the memes I saw were all 2018, everything going down memes. They're just freaking crazy, man. Bizonacci. This is his YouTube channel now, friends. This is Bizonacci. Hasn't uploaded in forever. 5 years ago. Funza Seifu. Ooga Booga. Like these are the most greatest things. Wage cucking it. Oh man, I'm just getting so many memories. Look, I'm telling you, man, I reckon it is. You are not allowed to invest in crypto unless you watch every single Bizonacci video. I'm telling you right now, man. Oh, the memes, man. This is what started it all. So that was 2017, friends. Who invests, right? Smart investors, because they can see stuff. They're pragmatists. They're like, it's people like Tim Draper's and John McAfee's words are getting out to the universe, and they're like, well, crypto's a better money. It's a better system. And you can see Vitalik, and he's making. They were calling Ethereum the building blocks of the financial system. Okay, but then look at this. It's who's in the mix right now? Mostly smart people. So yeah, I mean, eventually, right, this 2017 stuff, yeah, is it mostly smart at the end because it just went up so much. But we're looking at the final 3 months of that. You're pretty smart if you got in earlier, right? Because like Ethereum is still pretty cheap compared to now and all these other parts, all right? That's beautiful. Then we come late majority, friends. And unfortunately, this is where it gets controversial because no one believes that 2021, but me, was late majority. Friends, I mean, you watch my videos, I've told you so many times, yeah, man, last cycle was late majority. Makes sense. Elon Musk and Michael Saylor, rich, powerful men in the world, now telling you Bitcoin's a future. Late majority, dude. You get them. Look at this. Look what it says is. Why buy? Competition from the others. Man, does this ring a bell or what, friends? Why Michael Saylor to buy? Oh, competition, because other governments. Remember Michael Saylor's famous, he had a boat, I think, in Argentina, and they had to move money out of the country. He's like, well, there was no way to move money out of Argentina. They had capital controls. They couldn't send it through a bank. So I was thinking, hey, can we disassemble the bolt? Could we disassemble? He was thinking about the ideas, right? This is before Bitcoin. Could we disassemble the boat in Argentina and then melt it down to its minerals, sell the minerals to another country, and then go back over there and collect our money? Can we do that? Like, they was exploring that. This was before Bitcoin. Because you can't transfer money because the government blocks you. You also have competition from others, right? You have people saying, oh, well, what if this flips gold, man? So the gold people, oh, what if this flips gold? You see this type of stuff? It makes sense, right? All the competition. What about Elon Musk? Oh, well, now he's not in the game anymore as much. But you get to see, right? It makes a lot of sense. The competition, well, this is going to be the next best thing. You got to get in before everybody else on Wall Street, right? Also, look what it says here in the who part. Who buys? Those who thought they were smart. Michael Saylor, Elon Musk. I know it's crazy. Like, they are smart. Yeah, friends. They were early and smart in a different field. They are not born degenerates like us. Do you understand? This is not their field. They actually make stuff for the world. You know what I mean? They've just come across this, and they're front running the rest of their rich old white hair friends. That's pretty much what they're front running. Okay, so and look what it says. Who is in the mix? Banks and other institutions. Like, oh man, this just rings a bell. 100% true. Now, we've got a Bitcoin spot ETF. That's literally the definition of banks and other institutions, right? Look what comes in laggards now, friends. Here we are. This is our 2024, 2025 cycle. Okay. Look at this. Why buy? It is the only viable option. Stock market, 7% per year. Government bonds, you're losing to inflation. It's like, I have to buy the Bitcoin ETF. I have to get into crypto now. I have to get into anything in crypto now. There's nowhere else for me to make my money. Nowhere else. You see that? It's laggards. Also, look at this. Who buys now? People who missed out. See, this could be one of the big last final cycles. Super cycle, if you will, when it's finally done. See that? People are only buying because they've missed out. They go, okay, missed out on Bitcoin's first 13 years. I missed out on Ethereum, missed out on all these. They're all FOMO buying the tops of that. Crazy, right? Who's in the mix though? Most governments. It's crazy. Got the ETFs starting to roll out. Whereas, what is everybody... Now, friends, you're going to hear, apart from Elliot, in the next section where I showed to you, he's going to reply to Pentoshi, but he's going to say, hey, we've only got like 1 million or 2 million people in crypto now, and there's 200 million people capable of transacting in crypto. So that's why it's conflicting with how early we are. Because, like, if you look on the surface, you're like, wait a minute, we are not early. But that cycle we just saw is Bitcoin. That is Bitcoin doing it's like basically it is slowing down over time. Okay, obviously it's doing diminishing gains. A lot of people believe it's not doing diminishing gains. Why? Because this part up here, they think, oh, well, we have the Bitcoin ETF. It's going to go different. But it might just continue, man. Who knows, friends? Who knows? I might think it's gonna like continue. But you look at everything right now, you think, okay, well, a lot of these things add up in terms of presenting a case where, yeah, maybe Bitcoin is slowing down. So let's go through Pentoshi and his tweet here. Look what he says here. He goes, a few thoughts and expectations. This cycle should have the largest diminishing returns of any cycle. A few reasons for this. The floor prices of the entire market were set pretty high. Okay, so he's talking about the floor prices. He also says, each cycle has set a floor about 10x its previous low. It's made a higher low in terms of market cap. Total 3, which is the whole market cap, right, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, Total 3 consists of only the top 125 altcoins, so it's important to note that it is not tracking this at all. And now I'm just going to quickly show you the Total 3 market cap chart, friends. Let's put it on a weekly chart. So this is Total 3, okay? Excludes Bitcoin and Ethereum, starts from, obviously, with as much earlier data you can go to, but it's basically, he believes, like, this index now, it's got a lot of poop in there. You actually see it from the top 100 market cap coins, friends, and that's why... Now I used to, when I was much younger, following Warren Buffett, I never used to know about investing. And I was like, how can you have such balls to think that you can pick stocks better than the market? And you know, Warren Buffett, he always be like, pfft. He goes, you know how much junk is in the stock market? It's S&P 500. I would never own them. And I always used to think, whoa, what a beast. How could he do that? He must have some magical talent. But now in crypto, look at all these other junk. Do you want to own these junk, friends? Like if I go down, for example, I'm not touching Solana. I don't care what you guys say. I don't care how high it is. But you can even use other obvious examples like, all right, Cardano, third cycle curse, Avalanche, slow theme, Tron, not touching you, Polkadot. No, that's a cute one. You have an actual GIF here. That's actually pretty cool. I don't want to touch you either. Sorry, Polkadot. See, Bitcoin Cash. Do you want to touch these, friends? ICP, like you're still 6 billion fully diluted. Litecoin, don't tell my neighbor. Leo's in here, just a debt token. Fetch AI, I mean, your AI thing. But you've done 40x from the low already. You see what I mean, friends? Like all these things going down. VeChain, Casper, you've already done your 700x. You see these? There's so many things lurking in the top 100. I'm just like, man, I don't want to have any weight allocated to them. So you get to see, right? That's pretty much it. That's why that Total 3 incorporates it. And then Pentoshi says, when I got into crypto in 2017, total altcoins was only about $15 billion for altcoins. Eventually, we would see over 1 trillion. So he's referring to the chart when we come up here, right? Total 3, friends, went to 1 trillion. That was actually the peak right here. So you can see on the right-hand side, that's Total 3. So I believe by the time of his market, he expects like maybe it only tops out at 2.2. Remember, friends, once again, this removes Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that's not a huge gain, is it? So, but think about it like this. You're adding $1.6 billion of market cap valuation. But as you get to see, the VCs and the insiders keep minting these valuations to add in. So he continues. This growth that he saw from 15 billion to 1 trillion is not repeatable. And let me show it to you right now. He's talking about right here. Look at this. From 15 billion, friends, all the way up here. Look at this huge growth. Remember, this is the entire industry of everything in the top 100. So he's talking about doing this move from 15 billion all the way to 1 trillion. He goes, yeah, good luck. You're not giving your 72x for that index pretty much again. But we've already known that, right? We can see it's writing on the wall. He goes, back then, DeFi was non-existent. Today, however, there are a lot more altcoins, a lot more dilution. So at the time, prices could really only go up because we were early. 2% of Americans or so had crypto. Now, 25%. Very important, friends. It's important because they are the ones with the money. Bangladeshi adoption doesn't matter. You certainly can't 10x the amount of people with that type of capital. It just requires more capital to move the markets, and there will continue to be a lot more for altcoins, spreading it out further. Thus, I think it will be a lot more difficult to see those outsized returns. And then he says, let's continue. As of a few weeks ago, at the highs, the amount of the tokens unlocked, so he's talking about recently, right? A few weeks ago, so this is probably like a month ago or so. At the highs, the amount of tokens unlocked, but not necessarily sold per day, was $250 million. So remember, these people, friends, who've been around along the game, they find out all these coins and they look at, okay, how many tokens got unlocked? And they find out the market cap of those unlocked. And what they do is they add all of them up because they want to see how much is that index inflating. So this, you know who else looked at that, friends? GCR. So I'm just sharing you the information. Obviously, I would look at that too. So that's why, friends, a lot of people, I'm just going to throw it out here. For example, in HEX, people think, oh, we can just keep going up 1,000x forever. I go, no. One, people are looking at every step of the way, how much of the yield of the coins are unlocked, and is there enough sustainable demand to do that? And we know in crypto, there's like a 99.9% chance as anything gets older, it's harder and harder to keep fulfilling that demand. People go for newer stuff. They try newer things. That's why it gets tougher and tougher to fulfill the inflation. That's why all the inflation has to go down over time. But is that still enough? Is that enough? Most of the time, the inflation reduction isn't enough to make a coin go up, as you see in the past. So Pentoshi will then continue. He'll go, well, assuming all those $250 million of market caps per day, he goes, assuming they all got sold one day, which they will, that is the inflows that you need just to keep prices stable for 24 hours each time. Big information there, friends. One day, those will get sold. Okay, so they didn't get sold. All these, he's talking about like PUI and Arbitrum and all these other token unlocks and Avalanche. One day they will get sold, friends, and they're like taken away from bids pretty much. All right, but they haven't been sold yet. He goes, most of those coins are held for now until they aren't. My best guess is that this cycle, we don't see total 3, that index I just shown you, go 2x above its all-time high. So he goes, so he thinks about 2.2 trillion. So if I show you it right now, he's drawing about 2.2 trillion, which will be about here. Okay, so remember, once again, friends, we are removing Bitcoin and Ethereum from this index, and we do include stable coins here as well. So 2.2 trillion, which I know that's absolutely garbage. Think about it, but that's why I tell you, friends, it's only 3.5x from here. Yeah, man, that means pretty much that average index only does like a 3x from here, friends. Your friend Somi here was telling you about this the whole time, friends. By the way, if you do that from the low to the high, that's only a 6.6x from the low to the high. I told you. By the way, it doesn't mean, hey, he doesn't know the future, but I'm just telling you it's harder and harder to keep pushing for all these big coins, friends. I'm going to tell you a new revelation as well. The exit strategy for all those coins in the top 100, their exit strategy is to survive long enough to get a top 100 altcoin ETF. Because, friends, these people, they've been given a large number of coins, but they can't sell the coins. So they've been given property they can't sell. So what they want to do is probably wait long enough to an ETF to get a crypto top 100 ETF. Then you have mum and dads buying them so these people can exit eventually over time. But they're not going to tell people that now, but that's pretty much the exit strategy. Because you're looking at these people like, hey, you're worth like, $58 million. Why can't you exit? And you realize because that person is in an altcoin with like, 6 other founders, and together they have like, $800 million, and there's only like, 30 million on the bid. They literally can't exit $800 million. They can't exit out, friends. And if they keep exiting, it'll rinse it down so much so they can't actually exit. So their goal is to get the ETF bid in. So slowly now they can like get it out. They're basically just rotating out to retailers. That's why we want to get into meme coins early. We're like so early. We're not even on CoinGecko. That's being early is most important. So I'm going to continue as well. Pentoshi, friends. So Pentoshi, that's his goal. His exit, his guess is only goes 2x above that all-time high, right? Or not even. He goes, it doesn't mean that there aren't opportunities. That is not true. He goes, there are opportunities daily, but it just means that you are no longer early. We are certainly in the late majority stage. So that's what he thinks. I think we're more almost towards laggards. Think about it. It could be late majority for altcoins. It could be laggards for Bitcoin. I'll show you back the chart right now. So, Bitcoin, friends, pretty much skeptics and laggards. We could be like here for altcoins, but Bitcoin's right here. So we're like in that tail final end. Pretty much, friends, if you look at a nutshell, what most of us are doing is those people who are late to Bitcoin, they're going to realize that they're late. And so they're going to see Ethereum maybe flip it or Ethereum move and earn yield. And then they might give a FOMO rush again somewhere in crypto, and that might be the final alt season of all. Now, man, as well as we continue, I want to remind you, crypto it's a very inefficient database. So just because not everyone in the world is using crypto, they don't need to use it, because there's faster ways to do stuff, because the government doesn't bother shutting down stuff like that, like AI and stuff over time, okay? But more on that later. So he says, remember, you're not that early. Remember, this is like very, very similar to what I've been saying since 2 years ago, right? He goes, I think people's expectations should be lowered a bit, because this cycle shouldn't be compared to the past cycle, because the adoption and overall growth in this space is just so much higher. So it's basically diminishing range, friends. That's it. He goes, I also believe most people never really learn. You're talking about a guy who's made 10, 20, 30 million net worth, been around multiple cycles and stuff, okay? He goes, because if you can't control your greed and defeat it, then you are destined to give back your gains repeatedly. You will always chase your all-time high or try to make something back. So he's just telling, that's why, friends, I've told you many times, why do people, when you see a chart, okay, you see many, many charts like this, I'll show you. Why do people, most altcoins with this chart, friends, they have their first cycle, they come up. Now, in this second cycle, they either stop here, go to the all-time high, or, if you're lucky, break the all-time high, but then come back. Why don't people get out in this? It's because they never learned from that one, all right? They never learned. So many altcoins have that pattern, don't they? They have the lower high and everything going up. There's only one coin that can consistently make that new lower high. It's actually Bitcoin and Ethereum so far, right? But 1 out of 100,000, you know what I mean? That's your odds. So that's super important to focus on. Now, this next part, be careful, don't get spooked, okay? But I'm going to disagree with it a bit, but I get what he's talking about. He says, look, he goes, this Pentoshi, remember, if you believe the cycle is 50% over, you should be taking out more than you're putting in and build up some cash and buy other assets with lower risk in the meantime. This applies to most, but not all people. So you have capital for new opportunities elsewhere or lower. The last thing that you want to be is all in at the end. Your goal should be to capture 80% of the total bull market. We aren't all going to make it. Most people won't. Statistically, only 1% can ever be in the 1%, and most people won't make it. Your gains are often temporary before moving into the pockets of other people on a long enough time frame, which is very true. It's kind of like everybody has their own little hyperwave, and everyone's always chasing their little hyperwave of where they go up, right? He goes, the system is mostly designed for you to lose. But it's not really, you can't say the system. It's kind of like this is the face of competition, okay? If you make life-changing gains or have, secure it. I don't think people realize the sheer size of the altcoin space at $10 trillion, for example, or how much money it would really take to get there. Protect yourself when you reach various goals, then start over with a lower amount at the very minimum. Just something to think about in terms of where we are, how much growth we've had, and what that could mean for future growth and returns. In my opinion, the best is behind us in terms of easy. Outsized gains across the board, but the future is still bright. Don't let anyone sell shame you when the time is right. So of course, friends, like I said to you, the answer to all these, I made so many videos, the answer is meme coins. Small valuations. Here's the thing. You would love to buy a big project, but you want them to be like 10 million market cap, but you're never going to get that because the big projects go to the exchanges and go to VCs, get the raises. They're always starting at 700 million valuation, 600 million valuation. You don't get to find them. You see what I mean? You don't get to find them because the competition's too much. So that's why you have to get into grassroots stuff. Now, what I'm going to do is, friends, just balance it out. So EllioTrades comes in, but also look, I'm going to show you this chart now. That's their pretty much their total 3. But here we come. EllioTrades chimes in. So EllioTrades, remember? So this is Elliot, friends. He goes, I respectfully disagree. How can it be possible when the late majority are in, when there's like maximum just a few million active wallets in crypto? Maybe only 1 out of 1,000 people actually use crypto, well under 1%. Crypto has failed to onboard almost everybody but a small cohort of cultists so far. No hit on-chain application yet. There's no hit game, no instrumental DeFi. While I do agree with you that we can't predict when those happen, this cycle may indeed fail to double the total 3. So he's saying, yeah, it could diminish and do that. He goes, the analysis that we're at the late majority just feels quite inaccurate. That said, the lessons in taking profits and securing your future are bang on and everyone should heed. So then Pentoshi, friends, reacts. He goes, He goes, they would because most of crypto solves for problems that don't exist or don't need to be solved. You don't need 99% of the projects. And after 15 years, how many solved real world problems? So they both have a point, don't they? So in a nutshell, friends, I'll like summarize it here for you just to show you, okay? And EllioTrades is going to play, but in a nutshell, the game's harder in terms of you can't walk in, buy Bitcoin and Ethereum and retire. Your $10,000 is enough. You also can't walk in now. So that used to be last cycle stuff, okay? You can't just buy Bitcoin and Ethereum and retire. But now, now you've added something heavier. So at the beginning, you could just buy Bitcoin, all right? That's done. After that, you could just buy Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's done, okay? After that, which is what we just had, you could just buy Bitcoin and Ethereum and all like layer 1 chains and just anything that's mildly big. That's now done, okay? Have you noticed as each cycle goes on, the things you can buy to retire, okay, they're getting smaller and smaller. So the stuff that you can't touch anymore, right, that group's getting bigger, the no-touch zone, because they've been around too long. So now, obviously, but the market never knows this. The market's always going off the last cycle. Okay, so now I've told you, most likely, retirement is not coming in most of the core coins out here in the top 100 with things with like 3 billion to 5 billion valuations. Most of the stuff's not coming there. They're going to be lucky to hit 50 billion to 100 billion max if we're lucky, which is like, 8 to 15x if we're lucky, a lot of them. Now, obviously, there's a lot of junk out there, and hopefully you're on the winners that get the 50 to 100x. I'm praying, friends, but I'm just telling you on average, have you noticed that? Have you noticed, though, the edge in small market cap coins, low cap gems, stuff where we see communities that are vibrant, contrarian stuff that no one believes in, that have active communities, cultures, memes, that type of stuff, that participation will change your life. Clearly will change your life. But these people aren't doing any of the hard work and research there, okay? But also I'm going to bounce back now to EllioTrades. So he goes, let's be clear. I am disagreeing with the concept that we are the late majority. I stated above your guidance on profit taking and expectations are solid. He goes, that said, the moon maths regarding total 3, it's obviously depending on how high Bitcoin goes. My theory is that Bitcoin has become more reflexive with access to the ETF flows, meaning we can run pretty high and gains may be equal or greater to the last cycle. Be careful with that, friends, that thinking, okay? He goes, this will, however, be the last of its kind run, if so, and will return to diminishing structure thereafter, assuming no inflationary USD spiral. Given that the total 3 index jumped about 6x from the all-time high, that repeating would lead us to around $4 trillion as we're currently mid 600 in it. So there you go. So Pentoshi, it's funny when you look at the numbers, friends, just show you like the reality. This is kind of crazy when you look at it. Okay, look at this. Pentoshi's target, okay, is here, all right, and then Ellio's is here, and Ellio's a hyperbull, okay? Just think about that, okay? EllioTrades, the bull who's disagreeing, the target for the average altcoin, you're only doing a 7x from here. Ouch. That's the hyperbull, by the way. That's the hyperbull. Now, once again, I've got to tell you, what does that mean? That means everything in that index, everything in the top 115 coins, that's why the average. And guess what? Yeah, of course, out of 115 coins, yeah, guess what? The top 10 are probably going to do like 20x, 15x. Yeah, but the average is going to be 6 to 7x. So there's 2s and 3x's, 6 to 7x's, and then there's like, some 20 and 30x's, some, very, very little. The average is going to be 6 to 7x. That's EllioTrades' hyper bull scenario. And remember, he goes off the Bitcoin price. Bitcoin, again, this depends on Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin at 120K does not make this possible. But over $200,000 Bitcoin, and I'm sure we will smash 4 trillion and maybe higher at peaks. Again, we're all monitoring the king. So here they are speaking about it. So friends, shout out to Crypto DOS here. Interesting perspective. Just increase the bag size, I guess. Habibi, Albi, that is exactly the message you should be gathering from these. 2 things. Firstly, stack more of the stuff, because look where everyone's targets are, friends. You know that. Everyone's targets are here. And I don't care about being wrong or right. I just want to make money. As you all know, friends, we've been actively finding lower market cap stuff because the market has a hunger for these. You can see the writing on the wall. So After hearing all these, what do you think about that? You've heard these perspectives, these like industry giants, people who understand deeper stuff. It's kind of funny. Like this is exactly the 50-50, just showing you, friends. Elio Hyperbull is only 6x away from here. That's actually disgusting. I was hoping his target was like 30 trillion or something ridiculous. You can't push these numbers, man. You just can't, because, friends, the stock market only has those numbers come in because you have people actively DCA buying with the pension Ponzi money and stuff, and the government actually goes out to rescue it, make sure everything's all right. With crypto, we don't have people's need to buy stuff because they don't make cash flows. So it's all about the network effects here and there. So we're going to spend more videos and stuff. Let's talk about that later. But yes, I'm really interested in your thought. How high you think it'll go? Look, at the end of the day, you want that final conclusion? I've shown it to you many times. I'll tell you again, okay? You can't afford to be in stuff that's not contrarian. That's what it's basically saying. Alert, alert. If you're in stuff and people aren't calling you a scammer, you're in the wrong stuff. That's pretty much it. But it's because the upside on the crowd things, the yield is trash, pretty much, okay? Number 2, sticking in top 100 core coins is going to get you obliterated. You'll underperform big time. And the only way, I guess, to really make it is like the way doing the stock market. You got to research. You got to do hard work, which is what we're doing right here. I provide you highest value content in crypto, friends. I bring you this edge. We're fine. We discover stuff. PDI, Teddy Bear, Trooper, what's happening there? We have Tangang Ecosystem, Hexibus, all this stuff on Polchain. There's going to be other chains here and there. Is there anything going on Solana and Coinbase? All these other meme coins. We have to cater to what the crowd wants. What's the next narrative going to be? That type of on-chain stuff, that's where the juice is. Everybody in the hedge fund, quant, that loser land on centralized exchanges, they're obviously getting rinsed. That's like 2 seasons ago, okay? So you learned a lot today. What do you think? Make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll catch you soon.